Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's Ace by Securities webinar. My name is Duncan Cooper. Sorry for the slight delay. I had a few technical issues. Tonight's webinar is live Forex market review, so let's get into it. If everybody can read through the disclaimer coming up. For those on our YouTube live stream, I cannot see the chat, but you're more than welcome to watch, or I've given you the link to the webinar. You can come in and join us in the webinar room and chat. For those in the webinar, I've got the chat box open and the Q&A box open. You can talk to me in either. So everybody, please read through the disclaimer before we move along. All right, let's move along. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm a Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor here at Ace by Securities. And I am a full-time Forex trader. I've been trading now for more than 15 years in the Forex market, mentoring for more than 10. If you want to contact me, my email's there, duncan.cooper@acy.com. Through the week, if you want to follow me, go to the website, acy.com, go to the Market News tab, or the Ace by Securities Australia YouTube channel. If you want to connect with me personally, just head over to my Linktree page and go to my handle there, and you can connect with me through Linktree as well through the week, or I'll say as well if you want to get access to my chart layouts and templates I'm using in the webinars for MT4. Just contact Nathan.bray. I'll put his details in the chat now. So if you need help with a demo account, live account, or anything at ACY, just contact Nathan. He'll be able to help you out. So his details are just going in the chat there. All right, so let's get into tonight's webinar. First up, we'll have a look at the news. So this week's news coming out is all about inflation data from the US in particular. We had that on Tuesday and got more of it on Friday. We've also had the UK CPI year on year, which came in a little bit lower. So the pound dropped. Today earlier, let me just refresh this. Today earlier from the UK with the GDP figures coming out, they were slightly lower. So the pound dropped once more. We've had the unemployment rate from the Aussie this morning, which was slightly worse than expected. So unemployment's going up, which potentially suggests that the raising of interest rates is doing its thing. Inflation is dropping. Unemployment should be starting to rise. So there may be a question that we might get a cut of the interest rates for the Aussie at some point, but that potentially would be leading to a slightly weaker Aussie US dollar. And the Aussie dollar did sell off, but it had a bit of a bounce back up, pretty much the same level it was at before that came out. So later in the day, we have core retail sales coming out for the US at 11:30 p.m. These are Queensland time. US Empire State Manufacturing Index, retail sales, unemployment claims for the US. So there's 4 items there coming out at 11:30. And then tomorrow, we have more inflation data, the core PPI data from the US at 11:30 p.m. And 1 in the morning of Saturday, prelim UOM consumer sentiment. So these are the items to watch. Also, pound retail sales at 5 p.m. tomorrow. So predominantly this week, it's been a lot of US and pound data coming out. So just be aware of what is left to come out for the week. All right, let's get to my charts. Start with the dollar index, which has been moving up. Now, I did say on Tuesday, watch this area on the index for it to become support. Or, it needed to be holding a support to continue the uptrend. It did false break when we had the CPI data come out on Tuesday. And then, of course, has moved back up. Now, it's broken above. This is a weekly high over here. And now it's just pulling back to that weekly high and a daily level support. So it's once more moving into a higher top. This is a false break lower bottom. So I would class this whole area as a higher area of support from this area down here. And it's just showing you that we're still in an uptrend, really. And what I've been saying on the monthly chart is we may be forming this inverse head and shoulder pattern for a long-term move up. And this month has taken out the previous 2 months' highs. So it's very bullish at the moment, the US dollar. expect pairs to US dollar to be moving down at the moment, unless we get a data release that changes the perspective. At the moment, I think you need to have the thought that you should be looking for pairs to US dollar looking to sell rallies. Okay. All right. And S&P 500s had a pullback. Now I said on Tuesday, watch the pullback to potentially the 62 to 79% area. Pretty much pullback spot on to the 62, and it's on its way back up. So it is in a long-term uptrend at the moment. It has broken above the all-time high. So it's going to be a brave person at the moment who is prepared to short this at the moment. You really need to look for a dip, and we've had the dip this week. You've missed out on the opportunity to buy the dip, really. All right, monthly chart's up. The weekly trend is up here. All right, and we've had that 62% dip. So now, if you're long, you're probably looking for the profit-taking zone up here, the 127 extension for profits, and then you're looking for the next dip. Now, may come back down to 62 again. Maybe you'd be happy to buy a retest, so you can watch for a retest of the support zone there on the fib tool. But maybe we've already had that dip and it's going to be heading further up, and you've missed the opportunity at the moment. Okay. Euro dollar, it has this week tried to break below weekly support. It's moved below day support, which is this high over here. This is a weekly low here. This is my day chart. And it's just breaking support, trying to erode support, and then does broken support become resistance? So we were up here. I said on Tuesday, this is Tuesday's candle, watch for 107.94 area to be resistance potentially that day. And lo and behold, it was. It's not able to hold below weekly support at the moment, 107.23. So this might come up to 107.56 to now be resistance, broken support to be resistance from this high over here. 24-hour chart. And there's a 4-hour area of support there too. So if it wants to be friendly, it might offer you a rally back up. 62 levels at 107.61 and broken support being resistance now at 107.56. So that would be a good area to watch. Don't know whether it can get up there. But at the moment, we've had the drop from Tuesday down there. And it's trying to come back up and fill some form of imbalance in this area here at the moment. Whether or not it can get all the way back up, because it is looking a little bit weak at the moment. It's just holding at this area over here. But this is the optimum area to watch for, okay? So I'm always looking for the optimum area. Doesn't always get to my optimum area, but that will be my area up here to look for if the market could get up there. Could get up there today, tomorrow. All right. And get my things to on highlight. Being a little bit painful. Let's start again. All right, so 107.56 up to 107.16 is my sell area at the moment on that pair. Longer term trend is down. I'm looking for a continuation of the trend to move below. Can we get a clear break by the end of the week or into the next week of 107.23? So we might see a move back up to this level of old support to become resistance. Can we get a clear break below this level of support? And over the next week, we may see this level becoming resistance for a continued move down, okay? All right, Euro Yen. Now, I've been discussing this area here, 161.24. There is a potential that this isn't a perfect double top, but we're a bit short of this area. But if I just draw it in, this could be some form of almost double top here. Once more, it's failed at that 79% level. just fraction short. This time it's a fraction lower, so it's a fraction lower area to this area at the moment. Are we forming some form of double top? If we are, the double top projection price target down here is at 154.28, which is very close to this area of support here. So if we do see a failure up here, we can break the lower yesterday, which was an inside day. That could be a signal to get short, or maybe a long-term move. Needs to break this area of support where we bounced last time, but if we can break through there, maybe we're coming down to here. All right, it's definitely the area to look for a short at the moment up here. Today is showing you the reversal. You could wait, of course, for the reversal to occur today on a day candle basis, and if we get a nice reversal candle today, then look to your 4-hour chart for an opportunity to sell a rally. I think maybe rallies back up inside the day of today, tomorrow. All right. So at the moment, it's just asking itself, can we break the lower yesterday and maybe confirm this reversal at this old area of support here at 161.24. All right. And the 4-hour chart's not quite turned into a downtrend, but it is forming a lower top. So if we can break this area, which is yesterday's low, drag a fib down and look to sell the rally back up to the 62.79% area. Okay, that's what I would be looking for there at the moment. But if you just want to look at a prime level, the primary level of failure is at 161.24. It's last week's high. It's an old area of broken support. All right. So you can see the last two 4-hour candles have pretty much been putting their highs in at that area. So any revisit to that area is where the sellers are sitting at the moment. So that's the level to watch if you want to try and sell a rally back up. Perfect failure there at the resistance area I've been discussing. I discussed that level last month, and I'm discussing it again this month as the same area for watching price to fail at. All right. Euro pound. Now the pound itself has been getting weaker than the euro, so we're getting some form of rally. And I think what's happening here is, in all probability, we are reversing down here on support, and we've had on the weekly scale here, which moved down to a lower bottom, lower top, lower bottom, and we're almost at the 127 extension profit target. Failed at the 79% level, down to 127 extension. So it's in the position where it's at support and it's due a rally. So I don't expect at the moment that this is possibly now going to have a rally. So you need to draw the fib. It's in a downtrend, but it's due a rally. So I would be looking for this now to come up to the 62.79% area. There's an area of old support here as well, 86.49. And watch for price to come up to that area and then get set for the next decline. All right. Long-term trend here is down. So, do you want to go counter trend? Of course, that's the trend on the weekly. Daily, it's just starting to change the day trend to up in the short term. Of course, the day trend has to turn up if we're going to come up to, this area up here. So we may be heading back up into this kind of a zone. All right. We'll have to wait and see. Now, if we get a nice move up here on the day chart, you could watch 85.43 to be support and a pullback, and look at that area for an intraday trade to trade up. So are we going to move up? Are we going to see this pull back over the next few days to 85.43 to be support, to then continue to move up this way? Okay, so that's what I'll be watching for if I wanted to trade that pair. All right, you can monitor that. Let's get into the pound. So the news or the data coming out from the UK this week's been negative, and it did get above the area that I was watching at a 126.51 area, but came up to 62% level here of this is the range of a last. I'm just going to have a double check myself. It's not the range of last month. What I'm doing here is that's last month's high, and this is this month's low. So I'm using that whole range, and we came up to 62% level of that range. So that's how I'm drawing that in. Last month's high down to the new low this month. So what I'm anticipating is that we've had pretty much a 62% retracement and looking for that kind of price button to move down. That 124.48 line on the chart is actually a monthly old high formed last year. Let's get rid of those lines a moment. Go to the monthly chart. All right, take a few things off for the monthly chart. And all these lines up here are a bit redundant now, so let me get rid of all those. To the monthly chart here. Can't really see. I'll have to look on the weekly chart. We'll get it on the weekly chart. It's this area in here. This is actually a monthly top formed last year. So on the move down at the moment, this would be a very good area to expect some form of a bounce. There's also a monthly low just here at 125.00. We're only 46 pips away from that level. So these are two areas to really watch for a bounce through the course of the month. That's if you want to trade counter to the trends, 125.00 down to 124.48. All right, obviously the trend is down. It's been rather sideways, starting to show some lower tops here, and it's turned into a downtrend. There is the possibility that this could just let go. Now it's been consolidating, starting to form a trend. Those that have been buying in this consolidation area may have to start to decide they're wrong, and that will help the downside potential. All right, so certainly if we start to trade below 125, right to the 4 hour. So 125.18 is the most immediate support level. Not that much room left to sell. Now, there was a good opportunity yesterday up here, maybe to sell at 126.11, an old area of support from over here. At the moment, it's not in the most desirable area if you're not already short. There's not a lot of room to support. So I just want to put a line in there, 125.18. All right, so at the moment, we do have some news coming out later, of course, from the US. If it was to come back up to 126.11 today, that would be a great area to watch. And also last month's low at 125.96. So that would be a good area to watch for your setup to sell if it could get up there. Don't know whether we can get up there, but that would be an opportune area to look to sell a rally. Other than that, I don't see anything at the moment because we're getting very close to support. If you're prepared to go counter trend, you could be watching down here at 25.18. Down to 125.00 for a possible reversal back up, but that's counter trend. So that would be the area that I would watch if it can give you a friendly rally. Okay, whether or not we can get a friendly rally, I don't know. And of course, as well, in the area that I'm highlighting here, we have the 126.00 level on the 50-minute chart. And there's an imbalance from yesterday here that we haven't filled. So maybe the market wants to come up and fill that area too. So that would be the desirable area to watch if we get a rally. But at the moment, it's not offering that opportunity. Pound yen, big question of a false break at the moment. these two top lines, if we go to the monthly chart, there's a monthly high here, 188.80, and the high one that we're false breaking is 189.70. All right, and this minor monthly high here, of course, for false breaking as well. Two monthly candles and their highs there were false breaking. So looking like a potential false break, but at very historical high levels. So that's why selling pressure is coming in. To the daily, I would be watching. So these two highs here, false broke this high. So this is an older high than this area. So if I just draw a fib across that range, so I've got a number on that high, which is at 188.65. So 188.65 up to 188.80, this little area in there is the area to watch now for a retest and failure. This looks like a false break above that area. So it's really a liquidity trap. Stops have been going off here. Some retail traders, I think, have been buying to move up. And the institutional traders all have their orders up here to sell. And of course, it looks very much like at the moment, the price isn't able to hold itself above here. So we could potentially see a move maybe all the way back down to support down here. This is major support down here. Are we false breaking this area of resistance to move back down to support? Of course, there's some other areas in the way of that. This high over here, for example. So in the short term, the 4-hour chart, trend has turned down on the 4-hour now, breaking below the low area. As I was just saying, I would watch this area here, 188.65 to 188.80. Today, it has actually proved itself to be resistance already. If we drop down to the 15-minute chart, you can see this. Once we move below 188.80, was held there. All right, see, it was support yesterday. It's become resistance today. So any rally at the moment, this would be the area to watch back to. Okay. All right, Aussie yen. This is the area I drew in on Tuesday. You can see we false broke. We've actually come up almost to last month's high. And we've come up to the day chart here. All these highs to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs to the left. Okay, so clearly this is the sellers creating all these highs. I've been looking at this range, 79% level for failure. Did fail there and traded down through last month. So go all the way back up. Is it forming some form of double top up here? Azu, hello to you. So are we forming a double top here? Like I was suggesting maybe on the euro yen, but this is a lot closer to that top there than it is on the euro yen. Is this a double top? And price rejection for the double tops down here at 93.11. Are we going to see that pattern unfold? I mean, it might not be able to break too much below this low. This is a major low at 93.75. But if we are going to see a move down, this is the time to get yourself ready for a short. You could wait till the end of today. Do we get a reversal candle today? At the moment, it's kind of forming a dark cloud cover, but the day hasn't finished. So we'll have to wait and see how things finish. And to the 4-hour chart, still high tops and bottoms, but a very aggressive reversal candle there. So this may well just, in some form, come up maybe to retest, maybe form a little bit of a left shoulder, head right shoulder here, okay? So if it can give you a really friendly rally, it may come back up to 97.66, approximate level. But start to look for a breakdown on the 4-hour chart to the downside, and then look to sell a rally would be the form. You know, are we forming that double top where we failed at last month. This is where we failed last month. It actually failed, came back up for a retest, sold off, came back up for a retest. So if I draw it in, we may see a similar price action this month. Failed, rally, down, another retest, and then down. So we could get one or two retests of this area once more. Just have to wait and see how price action unfolds, but that's how it unfolded last month. All right, so probably won't just drop like a rock. It will probably come up for another test, maybe. All right, you can monitor that. Aussie, it's a little bit positive at the moment, the Aussie, even though the data today was negative and we can see we did move down. We'll come back up, but 6,500 at the moment is a bit of a sticking area. I'm on a 50-minute chart here at the moment. So just a day chart, we've actually moved below. That's the area I was watching on Tuesday, but we never got there. To the weekly chart, we've broken below two weekly areas of support here. Two old highs, 65.11 to 65.22. So I will be watching that area potentially now to be resistance. All right, so this area through here, this high, this low. And just in terms of price action from the other day, we have an imbalance in here that may need to be filled. So there's still a little bit of the imbalance left. That was the imbalance, but we filled most of it. You can see on the 50-minute charts. That's probably the 4-hour imbalance, but you can see there's a bit more of imbalance on the 50-minute chart in that candle there. So high to low, draw a fib, cross that move down. We're just underneath the 62 level. That's not a bad level. 62 levels at 65.01. You can see that the 6,500 level is being held. So that wouldn't be a bad area to watch today. We've tested it twice today, but we could stub into that area when the US news comes out and reverse. So for sure, that is pretty much the price point the market's respecting at the moment. So watch that area for failure. Can you see a setup to sell? It could. I'm just going to drop back to the 4-hour chart. It could, of course, come up to the 79% level, because what I can see there on my 4-hour chart is that is last month's low over here, where we broke below. We just got headbutting it slightly above, down, slightly above, falling below. So we could actually come up to last month's low, which is at 65.24, and a 79% fib at 65.17. So at the moment, it's pretty much trying to hold at 62 level, 6,500, but news volatility could pick it up to maybe the higher level. And as well, the higher level overlaps with the weekly resistance at 65.22. So if I had a choice, I would wait to see if that level could come around, because it's a stronger level. It's a higher level to sell down from, but 65 could well hold the market. So you have to make a decision. What's your setup? Do you see it? Are you seeing it at 65, or are you seeing it up here maybe at 65.22 weekly resistance? All right, New Zealand yen. That's what I was looking at Tuesday. Bit of a double top there, maybe on the 4-hour. Now, at the moment, on the daily, where potentially today, if we get a negative candle today, we are false breaking this significant top. And whilst we're holding an uptrend, all right, if we draw a fib in and understand where price is at, we're probably at the 127 extension. Yes, we are. So we pull back to about 50 here, and then we've moved up and hit the 127. So it's failing at 127 and it's failing at the high here. Is expect to pull back within this range. Okay, so that range is now, the range to watch now would be from that low up to the day chart is expect maybe we're coming back into the 62.79% area of that range. If you're bullish this pair, expect at least a move back down into 62.79% area here. Could hold on this area of support from these highs here at 90.42. If you're bearish, of course, to get down to this area, price would have to sell off. But if you're long-term bearish, we're clearly, folks, breaking this high. See the reversal today. So if we get a reversal candle today and we close below that high today, that high becomes the area to watch for a retest tomorrow, 91.51. Can we retest 91.51 tomorrow? All right. So I would at the moment be waiting for this candle to finish. Is it negative? If it is, wherever we finished today, drag a fib from the high to the low range of today once it's finished. And hopefully you have a fib 62 or 79% level overlapping with this resistance area, and then look for a rally retest failure. That's what I would look for an opportunity to trade down. And then you can see whether we get a substantial reversal, or do we just pull back to this 62.79% area and hold for then another move back up. All right. I should probably just leave that. I'll just leave that on there. We can see how that comes to form next week, Tuesday, when we do a further review. New Zealand dollar. Never gotten back up to where I ideally want to sell this week. It's been breaking down. So at the moment, to my day chart, it's not the greatest pair in the world at the moment. You can see it's very sideways. It's into an area of support here. All right. There's 60.86. I just want to check where I'm getting that line from. There's an old area over here, which may be a bit hidden. So let's just let's deal with this. This is a clean area of weekly support that we're on at the moment. But from the monthly charts, this is lower top to lower bottom forming a lower top. So whilst the weekly trend may look up, because that's moved up to a higher top to that area, yes, we could put a higher bottom in here to move up, but the monthly trend is down, forming a lower top. So I would suggest that the weekly trend will turn down at some point. All right, but we're at the moment, from a day chart perspective, rather choppy. This isn't great price action at the moment. Yes, we're holding on weekly support. I don't want to sell into that area. I would much prefer this to come up and offer me an opportunity to sell at a higher area in line with the monthly trend I'm seeing. I'm anticipating from the monthly trend perspective that we've moved down, we've rallied, and then we're going to come down here to retest 57.72 at some point. So I want to look for an opportunity to sell. And I can see a great area up here. These 4-hour highs here would be a great area to watch if price can get up there. All right, so that's 61.48 to 61.73. That zone there would be where I would watch for an opportunity to try and sell a rally. As I was saying before, the dollar index is positive, US dollar is positive. So past the US dollar, you want to look for opportunity to sell a rally. And this is where the market's been holding over the last probably now 3 weeks on the sell side. So I would look to see where the market is holding on the sell side and see whether the price can rally back to it to trade down. And it's also in the 62% area of this high to low range. Okay. All right. Dollar Canadian. Now this is what I drew in on Tuesday. I think price had already done this bit, and I said, look to see if prices come down and retest the 62 level. And with the volatility of the news, could it come down and maybe test the 79% level? But it only held at the 62, but This is where you should have been looking to buy a dip. And of course, now we've moved up. So really, you want to be looking to buy the next dip whenever that can come around. We've obviously moved up almost to the 127 extension. So we're in the profit taking area of the move. So just the day chart. I was discussing on Tuesday this head and shoulder pattern forming. Now, of course, we're in the profit taking area of that pattern. And if we want to be looking at the next dip to form and then look to buy the dip. All right, so that's what I would be watching for on that pair. To the 4-hour chart. All right, trend is up, but I don't want to be looking for my buy in the profit taking area of the upward move. I want to be waiting for this to pull back to the 62.79% area. 62 area overlaps with a good area of these 4-hour highs here, so that could be a good area to look for the dip to move to. And then can we move back up? That's what I'll be looking for. Now, depending on the US data, because the US data keeps coming out relatively positive for the US, continued strength, whether or not we can get down there, we'll have to wait and see. All right. There is an imbalance in here that quite clearly may need to be filled. So with that being said, if that imbalance gets filled, it's going to take you into this area that I'm discussing. Dollar franc. All right. It's up to, let's just go to the monthly chart. We're moving back above all these monthly lows that we folks broke. And the next one is up here at 89.26. And we're just trading into, I'm sure, a weekly old area here. So I've actually put a higher bottom in here on the weekly. So whilst the monthly is down, the weekly is now up, but we're trading into weekly resistance. And day trend is up. You really want to be looking for the next dip. And there's a lot of support that came in here. There's a kind of low there. The purist would draw the fib from there to there. So you could be waiting for a major pullback and look to maybe get support at 62 level, and this area of old resistance now being support from the, I think it's a monthly level, 86.99. But there's an area of consolidation in here, which is both seen on the 4-hour chart. So I would be maybe drawing my fib from this area at the moment because it's consolidation breakout. So I would look for price to come back to the area of the breakout. So we broke above 87.57 here. That lines up the 79% fib of this area. And there's a bit of an imbalance here that may need to be filled. So I would allow this to correct at the moment, and that would be the area I would watch for support. Can you see set up to buy in this area? 87.57 support, 87.58 is the 79% fib, okay? We'll watch that area there. Dollar yen. All right, so it's got on up to, this is the day chart, still above the 79% level of this move down. But of course, went to very high areas. There's actually a weekly resistance area here. 150, 151. It's 151, 151, I think. No, it's not. 150, 15 more. All right, so we're false breaking this area. You can see the last year we put in a inverted hammer railroad tracks in this area on the weekly chart. We're coming into that same area where the sellers took control. Are we going to see a reversal this week? Are we going to see a significant reversal candle this week? We'll have to wait and see. At the moment, the day trend is still up. So we're just having a corrective move. I'm just having a corrective move of this little leg up here. All right. So at the moment, if you're still bullish, you could be looking to see if we just get a pullback within this range. So excuse me one moment. All right, sorry about that. I had to shut my window. It's starting to rain. So if you're bullish, you could be monitoring. Let's just drag this fib over so we can see what's happening. Pull back within this low to high, 62 level, 140 at 86, overlaps with this high here at 140 at 80. So we may just see pull back to there. Can the buyers defend that area to move up? So if you're bullish for long term, that would be the area to watch. If you're bearish, then if we get a good close below 150.15 today, that's that weekly area here, you could be looking to try and trade a retest of value of 150.15. So to the 4-hour chart, which is just turning into a downtrend, you could look to 150.15 to be a retest failure area. So if we continue to trade down today, you could look tomorrow for that area to get retested. Can it hold as resistance to then trade down? May only trade down to the area I was discussing for the buyers. But of course, if that area doesn't hold and breaks, then we could quite possibly then be dealing with a reversal. So we could see a short-term reversal just to 140 at 80. If that breaks, we may have a much more bigger reversal on the cards. So we are turning around at very high levels, just short of the high area of last year and the year before. So we're in a sell zone at the moment. It's not a great area to be a buyer. You know, if you bought, so the day chart, if you bought down here, this is where you should be taking profit, because it looks maybe that it's you know, failing. We're seeing the Aussie yen fail. We're seeing the Euro yen possibly fail. We're seeing the pound yen false break its highs. So it's not out of any imagination this could reverse down back down the range. All right, so you can monitor those two areas. One's the buy side, one's the sell side. All right, gold. All right, with the CPI data coming out, that was not positive for gold. So area of support that could have been support, which was support last week, has broken down. So really, the area of support that was should now be resistance. So we've moved below 2009. This is the weekly chart. We've moved below this area here. We've moved below this weekly low 2, down to this weekly area here at 1987. So the trend is down, lower top, lower bottom, lower top, lower bottom. Massive false break of these two highs on the monthly chart. Let's go to the monthly. So a massive false break up here. And then the next month we retested. This month we almost retested. So quite clear the sellers are watching that area. How deep is the reversal going to be is the question. So the weekly trend's down. We could most definitely at least see a rally back up within that candle move down to this area here. To the 4-hour chart. And we could most definitely come into this area. Last week's low, that weekly broken support, 62 level 2013. That would be the area to watch for a rally back to. To hold to move down, okay? Now, whether or not it'll give you that rally, I don't know. Last month's low is here, which is a weekly low as well. That 2001.8 level could be their resistance as well. So can it conform to the fib tool just to get up? You know, volatility news could spike that up there, fill some of this imbalance for then a reversal to continue that downtrend at the moment. Okay, some thoughts on gold. And finally, Azu, you want me to look at US30. Having an outside week at the moment. Whether or not that's re-signaling a major reversal, I don't know, because long term, this is in a major uptrend. So I won't get too excited about a major reversal at the moment. But we're having an outside week, but the swings are all uptrends. So I would monitor a pullback within that range. To the day chart, it actually got support where you'd expect support to come in. That high in these two lows. All right, so it's got support where you'd expect. If it wanted to further decline, the clear area of support would be here at the 62 level. All right, at 37.821. I don't like it when you get support at 50. I much prefer to get support at 62. And, you know, that's quite an area of consolidation here before we broke above. And you can see there's the minor pullback into that area just there before moving off. So if there's any more downside to this pair, sorry, this instrument, the indices, I would look at this area for potential support. But I have already bottomed. But if I was wanting to trade this myself, I would just be a game of patience to see if this can come down to this area at the moment. All right, but not that I want to sell it down into that area. I think it's still in an uptrend. You're just looking to see where the bottom is going to come in, and then can you see you set up to trade in line with the trend which is up at the moment. If we were to continue to get good US dollar data, let's say PPI data comes out positive for the US dollar, if the stock market starts to think we're not getting any rate cuts in this year, then if we were to break below 37,816, that may be a confirmation of a start of a reversal. But at the moment, it's too early to tell. First, we'll be looking at this area for support. Okay. All right, that's my thoughts on the Dow 30. All right, any final questions? Why are you thinking of one or not? Just to give you a heads up for next week on my webinar front. That's tonight. Next week for me, Tuesday, live market analysis. Next Wednesday, lesson on support and resistance. How to define support and resistance across multiple timeframes. And then for me on the 22nd, more live analysis, okay? On my webinars at 8 p.m. Sydney time, if you want to tune in to me. There are other people doing webinars too. There's Luca and Nathan. So if don't just see me, go and see everybody. All right, make use of everybody's knowledge and interpretation of the market. But that's what's coming out from me next week. All right, everybody, just be aware of the rest of the US dollar news coming out this week. We have this evening, 11:30 p.m. Queensland time, retail sales, manufacturing index, core retail sales, and unemployment claims. And tomorrow we have more inflation data coming out from the US and the UK retail sales, okay? So make sure you know where the data is coming out so you're not in the face of it when you're trading. All right, other than that, have a great rest of the week and enjoy your weekend. I look forward to seeing you next time.